Episode 12, The Journey Before the Beginning. The city was still regrouping after the shock, the cracked buildings were starting to mend. And the sky was beginning to regain its natural color, but inside the narrow passages and alleyways, people were emerging in fear, not understanding what had happened. In the middle, Zennar stood still, catching his breath. The silvery energy that had appeared and disappeared made him feel as if all the heat had been drained from his body, and every muscle was trembling. Lauren stood in front of him and said, "We don't have time. If Felkar finds out where you are, he'll come back at any moment." Zennar looked at him and said, "So what do we do, Lauren? There's a place between times. Not a time from the past or the future. A separate world, built especially for those who possess powers like yours, Zennar. And how will we get there, Lauren? You are the one who will open the way." Preparing for the new crossing, Lauren took Zennar to an area beneath the city, a vast underground chamber filled with broken gates. The chamber's surface was dotted with intermittent energy lines, and as they walked over them, the blue light on Zennar's hand flickered back, but weakly. "This is where the Guardians of Time made it," Lauren said. "The last time a door opened was 700 years ago. What? Were they waiting for me?" Zennar smiled faintly. "Lauren, no, but they knew there would come a time when they'd need someone like you." The mysterious marker. In the middle of the chamber, there was a circular tablet carved into the ground, covered with circles and strange letters. As Zennar approached it, the mark on his hand changed from blue to silver, and then to a color in between. Lauren took a step back and said, "That means the passage has opened." Suddenly, the tablet spoke a strange note like an ancient machine awakening after years. The ground opened, and a beam of intense light appeared in the center of the tablet. Zennar asked, "And we'll go through it?" "Lauren, this is the passage to the edge, the place where you'll learn to use your powers before Felkar returns." The crossing, different this time. When Zennar entered the light, the sensation wasn't like the time travel he was used to. There was no disintegration or great speed. There was stillness. He forgot the smell of dust and smoke. He forgot the sounds of people and robots. Everything became a white silence. And as the silence stretched, a reflection suddenly appeared from it. His own self, Zennar, stood before him, but dressed as the ancient time guardians. The reflection said in a quiet voice, "You've finally arrived." Zennar was surprised. "You? Me?" The reflection. "I am a part of your power, the power you haven't yet unlocked." What appeared in the fight with Felkar was just the beginning. The edge world, the white landscape vanished suddenly, and a vast expanse appeared, filled with islands suspended in the air, and rivers of light flowing like roads, and buildings that weren't buildings, geometric shapes that shifted. The ground beneath Zennar's feet shimmered like glass, but when he moved, the ground itself moved with him. The reflection said, "This is the edge world, the place where time stands still and energy gathers. Here, you will learn to use your power without losing yourself." Zennar, "So you'll train me?" The reflection, "I'm not a trainer. I'm you, the one you haven't yet attained. Your future power. The form you will become." He gave him a steady look. "If you don't die before then." The first test. Suddenly, the ground opened up, and monsters of gray light emerged, strange shapes, eyeless, but the sound of their footsteps was heavy, as if they were made of time itself. The reflection said, "These aren't monsters. This is the resistance of time. You must overcome them without using the silver power, or the space itself will close in on you." Zennar reached out, but the mark didn't light up. The reflection said, "Rely on your heart, not the mark. Your power isn't in the light, your power is in your will." The fight. The monsters attacked. One tried to pierce his chest, but Zennar leaped upwards with strange agility, easier than ever before, as if the space itself were helping him. He struck the air with his hand, and from his blow came a small wave of calm energy, not powerful, but enough to make the monster unravel and dissipate. The reflection said, "Yes, use the time within you, not the time around you." Another monster attacked. Zennar spun his body quickly. and felt time around him stretch itself for a second, then it returned. The blow landed perfectly, and the monster vanished. A message from the future after all the monsters had disappeared. The reflection approached him and said, "Felkar isn't your true goal, it's just the beginning. There's something bigger. If you don't prepare for it now, all time will turn into gaps." "Zennar, how do I prepare?" The reflection touched his head, and in an instant, a flood of images entered Zennar's mind, gates larger than any he'd seen before, broken worlds, timekeepers who died. A vast power still dormant within him, and a door in the future, larger than Felkar himself. And then, the reflection vanished. The return Lauren's voice returned, as if calling from afar, "Zennar, come back. You must come back." Zennar felt the ground evaporate beneath his feet again, and the light began to pull his body out. Before the place disappeared, the reflection's voice spoke again, "The next test isn't on the edge. The next test is in your heart," and then, darkness.